James.
Yes.
So, if someone were to offend you,
Yep.
do they owe you an apology?
Huh. Yeah, I think so.
What do you say to that, Chris? If someone were to offend you, do they owe you an apology?
Of course they owe me an apology. How dare they? How dare they cross me? No, I'm kidding. If they certainly if they said sorry, I would say, thanks, I guess. But it's
Nick
irrelevant.
said beta.
Nick's only saying that because that guy from England called me the most alpha.
Beta.
Do people owe me an apology if they do something wrong to me? No, I don't care.
But so you say if someone offend you, they do not owe you an apology?
People can't offend me,
Well, if they do.
but they can't. If they do something bad towards me, I do they owe me an apology? No, I don't care.
And James, you say that if someone offend you, they owe you an apology?
Yes.
And the guy with the good hair, right? And why do you say yes?
Because it's only common decency to apologize if you offend somebody. Actually offend people.
Common decency?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Commonplace. Common sense, maybe. Maybe.
If someone offend you, do you owe them an apology?
If someone offends me, do I
No.
owe them?
Yeah. If someone offend you, do you owe the offender an apology?
No. Not unless no. Not automatically. No.
Nick said common decency came from white people.
Thank you.
That's why y'all been defeated now.
Oh, shoot.
So if someone were to offend you, you don't owe them an apology?
Correct.
And what do you say to that, Nick? I mean, not Nick, but Chris, my other expert. If someone offend you, do you owe them an apology?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're offended,
No, if you
Yeah.
got offended,
yep,
would you owe that person an apology?
right. Because to be offended is to, is to hate them basically because they did something wrong to me. So I'm offended. My ego is hurt, which that's beta.
What do you say to that?
So yeah, you
I
owe
say-
them an apology.
I say not necessarily. I definitely get what Chris is saying. Like say, oh, I got offended by what's his name, and now I'm hating what's his name. I don't necessarily owe him an apology for hating him.
Why not?
Because he doesn't have to know.
Yeah, I would. I was being slightly facetious.
Clever.
Yeah, slightly facetious there. A little bit of lawyer speak there, but no, I mean, I don't know them an apology. It's just I don't seek revenge, don't hate, just don't hate. But I don't. If somebody does something bad to me, I certainly don't owe them an apology.
Amazing. And you agree with that?
Right, I do.
Right. A leading question. No. I was walking down the hall. I was at home last night. I was walking down the hall, and all of a sudden it occurred to me that God's way is so different than the world's way. It's so different from the world's way of living. It's so amazing. It's just so amazing. And the only way you know about it, you have to reveal it to you, right? And I realized that if someone offend you, you owe them an apology. Because if you're of God, you cannot be offended. And if you are offended, it means that you judge them. And so you owe them apology for judging.
Yeah.
But the world say that the one that offend you owe you an apology.
Right.
But the real offender is not the person that offended you, but the one that hated the offender.
Right.
Isn't that deep?
Dang. That's clever.
That's so deep, water came to my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that deep, Chris?
Very.
What do you think about that?
I'm pretty sure I said that.
But you didn't seem to really mean it at the end there.
Well, because I answered that if you are offended, that means you are hating them. But again, that's only if you are offended. I don't know if I would go out of my way to apologize to somebody. Again, if somebody does something wrong, and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with.
But you judge them. Why should you apologize for judging?
To judge them. That's
but
the main
anyone
difference.
that can be offended is judging.
Right, and an offense. But also, if somebody does something wrong to you, you can still, stop that from happening.
Right.
You can take strong action.
Right.
To stop them.
But the question is, if you offended, do you owe the offender an apology? And the answer is yes, because if you've been offended, it means that you have judged them, you resent them. And because children of God cannot be offended, it's impossible.
It's interesting because you can not realize that you are letting off any indication that you're offended.
Yeah.
And they pick up that you're offended, but you don't realize that you're letting on.
Yeah. That's why you have to pay attention, pray, and watch.
Interesting.
But isn't that deep?
Yeah, it is so backwards from the female-minded so-called common sense world, where for example, like the cops kill a black who's acting erratic.
Yeah.
And the blacks are all angry and smearing the cops, saying stuff that they don't know to be true. And they want the cops to make amends when it's the blacks who are the ones who are out of control and angry and evil.
Absolutely. It's so crazy. God said that his ways they are different than Satan's ways at all. His mindset is as different as the north is from the east, or south from west from the east, right? And it truly, truly is. Because who would think that if you offend me, I owe you an apology?
Yeah. And that's what would clear the air better than, let's say Chris starts picking on me.
Right.
And I start sulking.
Yes.
He apologizes to me. Then it's just, he's just feeling sorry for me.
Right.
And I just stay the same. And now it's the relationship is all messed up. Whereas if I apologize for getting mad at him,
yes,
then it would be like back to normal.
And by Chris not apologize, let's say you start soaking about it.
Uh-huh.
and by Chris not apologizing for it, he's showing love to you.
Yeah.
Because he's allowing you to see your weakness. He's allowing you to see that this is something you need to overcome. But if he apologizes to you, he's showing that he doesn't love you.
Pandering.
Isn't that deep, Chris? But
Quite.
you made the point that you cannot be offended.
Right.
Yeah.
You cannot be offended. You can still take strong action against
If somebody did wrong and you need to take action, absolutely. But I want the people to know that once you become sons of God and daughters of God, you cannot be offended. And the reason another reason that question came to me, because I do, as you know, I do a lot of counseling. I'm talking to so many Christians who are offended. Even people who said they be still and do the prayer thing, right? When something happens, they are offended. And I wonder, how is that? Because I know for my own self that you can't be offended if you're of the Father. Perfect love casts out all things. You are protected from being offended because you're of love.
Nice.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yep, amazing.
Amazing. I'm telling you, y'all better do that silent prayer and stay with it, because you will grow closer and closer and closer until you find yourself right before the Father. It's mind-blowing.
Cool.
What are you thinking?
It's nice.
That's nice. Listen, what are you talking about today on the Hate Report?
Well,
amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the Jesse Lee Peterson radio show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it.